here we go. Which one do you want me to look at now? Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. These guys. So if they are congruent triangles, the angles are equal. Do you agree? So I looked up here and I saw C was equal to X.
Oh, okay.
You with me? That's not really helpful, right? And then I saw that B was equal to W. So 24x plus 5 equals 77. And that solves for X, right? All right. Probably the same thing over here, right?
Yes. That makes more sense. I was confused if we're supposed to draw proofs.
No. Angle M, just to make sure, angle M is congruent to P, so far nothing. H is congruent to Q. And then, so that doesn't look so good. Right, so then we have to look at the sides, right? So I want to look at JQ. So I'm looking at JQ must be to JH. So 2y minus 1 equals 9. And then we have it. Agreed? All right, does anybody else have anything on this they want me to take a look at? Yes.
19.
Thank you, buddy. 19. This guy right here? Yeah, I think this is good. All right, I'm glad you said this one. So let's go ahead and mark out. Let's mark the given. And that's number 1. All right, now angle K is congruent to angle M. KP is perpendicular to PR. And MR is perpendicular. So because it's perpendicular, that means they form a what?
Right.
They form a right angle. And we're trying to prove that KPL is congruent to MRL. Wow. So we're trying to prove, that's a good one, Sam, thank you. We're trying to prove that is congruent to that. You agree with that? I don't think we need triangles to do that. I don't care. Wow, I see something. Did I highlight the right thing? KPL is congruent to MRL. So again, I guess that's sometimes what makes things difficult, is because there's so many different ways of doing this. All right, but for me, I think I really don't need much. I don't think this is how they intended to solve it, but I just thought of something. It is really, and I'm going to put given here. Can anybody help me? Does anybody want to? This is really a 3-step proof. 3 steps. That's all I need. Tell me.
Would it be for angle KPL and angle MRL equal 90 degrees? That's the definition of perpendicular.
That is true. What's next? We're definitely going to need that. Not for this proof, but that's, if something is perpendicular, then you have to say they're right angles. Then once you say they're right angles, you can say they're congruent because all right angles are congruent. Karina, tell me. You are amazing, girl. Very good. Thank you. Number 2, she said angle KLP is congruent to angle MLR, and those are vertical angle theorem. So now what?
Triangle KLP is congruent to.
No. First of all, we can't say they're congruent because we don't know a side. Someone else now. You can finish it right here. What?
You say like P times PM and K times KR?
Nope. We don't even need that. I'm done with the proof right now. Go.
Angle PDL is congruent to angle MRL because of angle. Or no.
No such thing as angle. But that is true. Tell me why.
Corresponding.
Nope. Right, didn't we just say this right here is congruent to this? And
Oh, CTC.
no, not yet. I'm done. Why are the red angles congruent now? All right, let's just put just cause. How about this?
Oh, third angle theorem.
Yay, third angle theorem. The third angle theorem, right? I didn't need all that fancy work. Right, does everybody see that? So again, that's what I'm saying. There's lots of ways to prove it. Lots of ways to prove it. I think what they wanted you to probably do, well, I don't even want to do it. All right, that's easy. All right, that was a good one. All right, we could make that one very hard, but it's very easy actually. All right, anybody else? Okay, so now what I want to do is I have two things posted. You're going to pull up this post first, section 4-5. All right, everybody pull up 4-5. My homeschool peeps, you guys doing all right? Or isn't that what I said? Isn't that it? Isn't that what it is, right? Yeah, 4-5. All right. Now, I remember when I was taking geometry, we didn't do any of this right here. We didn't do any of that. The only thing we did was this. All right, and I want someone to take a look at that and tell me why 4-6 is not necessary, 4-7 is not necessary, and 4-8 is not necessary. Tell me, Hannah, good. Yeah, that's right. Look, so that's very good. So this 4-6, the leg-leg congruence, is really side angle side. Do I agree with that? So we're never going to write the leg-leg congruence theorem. We're just going to write what? Side angle side. 4-7 is what? Or 4.7 is angle side. And then 4-8 is what? Angle side angle. Now, this one is important because this is your angle side side, and it's the only time it works. Haha. It is the only time it works when the angle is a right angle. All right, and that's super easy to prove because if two sides of a triangle are of a right triangle are congruent, then what? Then the third angle or the third side has to be congruent, and we can just prove that by the Pythagorean theorem. So really and truly, this hypotenuse leg is the same as side. Is everybody with me on this? All right. So you can use hypotenuse leg. You can use hypotenuse leg. All right. So proving right triangles are congruent, you're going to use hypotenuse leg. So summarize for yourself. We have side, angle, side, angle, side, or HL. Those are the ways that you're going to prove triangles are congruent. Those are the ways in which you're going to prove triangles are congruent. All right. Anybody have any issues? All right, so now what I want to do is I'm just going to briefly talk about these because I'm changing up the plans. All right, so now we have number 3. When they say FH is perpendicular to EG, FH is perpendicular to EG, what is created? Right angles. So you have to say, and again, you don't have to write this down, but I'm just telling you, this is what you have to say on your proofs. You have to say that angle FHG and angle EHF are right angles. And why are they right angles? Because that's the definition of what? That's the definition of perpendicular. All right. Now you have to say, why is angle FHG congruent to angle EHF? All right angles are what? All right angles are congruent. All right. So this is kind of like a 2-step process here. All right. It's like a 2-step process. Now, so we just proven those 2 angles, and then FH bisects EG, correct? So that means this is congruent to this by definition of what? And then FH is congruent to, what is that? Reflexive property. And then why are the triangles congruent? So if you know that, you can ace the test. That's how simple this is. In my opinion, that's simple. You use the given information to prove the triangles are congruent. And then occasionally they'll say, why is EF congruent to FG? Why is EF congruent to FG?
CPCTC.
Thank you. Wow. You're on that, Harris. I like that, man. All right. You've got the record. CPCTC for the fastest. Yeah. All right. So now what I'm seeing is this. All right. I'm kind of flipping through this, and there were supposed to be a couple proofs. And what I ended up doing, though, is I'm trying to prepare for your test. And so what I want to show you now is this. I got a little carried away with chapter 4 proofs. All right. So I started writing up the review, and I was having so much fun because I think proofs are awesome that I had all of this. And then I thought, well, we can't forget all the algebra. So I threw in some algebra for us. And then I threw in a few SAT and ACT questions. And then it seemed like there was only 32 questions, but then I thought back, well, 32 questions plus the other, what, 13 proofs is like a lot, right? Is everybody agreeing? I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys' concern. So I was thinking that that's probably more than a 2-day event. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start today on the review. All right. I'm totally comfortable with what we just did. And I want everyone to know that the only thing new for today was what? The only thing new we learned. HL, hypotenuse leg. Hypotenuse leg. That was the only thing new. All right. So what I want to do is I want to probably do 2 or 3 or 4 proofs today. And then I'm probably going to assign 2 or 3 or 4 for homework. And then Monday we'll finish and Tuesday we'll finish. And then I'm expecting everybody to be great, all right, with the chapter 4 test. All right. So here we go. Pull it up. What?
What are you doing here, man?
I enjoy what I do. Let's leave it at that.
It takes him 5 hours.
Are you kidding me?
Like,
All right. Yeah, my secretary does this, right? My secretary does all this.
That's why secretary is. Don't you hand draw?
All right, here we go. Let's go. All right, let's take a look. Start with number 1. Again, I think this stuff is simple. All right, so here we go. Now, I think I tried to not mark the figures, so you had to mark them in this review. All right, you're welcome. All right, so here we go. Let's write the given. What's wrong, Sam? Does everybody else only have 1 page?
it's just the same.
Sam, did you scroll down the page a little bit?
No, he went before that.
Okay, here we go. So number 1, we have what? All right, some of you will get a point on the next test every time you write given. All right. Now, here is where we just be careful and mark things. Vx is congruent to xy. And then it says xw is congruent to yz. Uh-oh. And then it says we have parallel. XW is parallel to YZ. So now we have to make the symbol for parallel. The little arrow here is parallel. Okay, now, all right, I want some help. Here we go. Number 2. Olivia, tell me. Shh, go. What are you thinking? Now, the first thing that comes to mind when somebody says parallel, corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, those types of things. Tell me.
It kind of looks like YXZ is
YXZ. Definitely incorrect. Kenzie. I am great. Thank you. Here we go. Right here, give this 3 little marks. 3 marks. Yeah, it is absolutely correct. So here we go. Angle VXW is congruent to angle XYZ. Tell me, that is, no, I'm asking Kenzie. Corresponding angles, yes. Corresponding angle is a, not that it matters, but it is a postulate. All right, corresponding angle postulate. All right, so from there, what are we thinking? Samuel. All right, AC, help him. Shh. You are great. Side, angle, side. And finally, Harris, this is where you come in. Shh. Shh. Harris.
Angle Z is congruent to angle W because of the CPCTC.
You went a little too slow that time.
Oh, CPCTC.
Slow for us. All right, way too slow. All right, there you have it. Proof number 1 is in the books. All right, and like I said, this you have to do it. You're not just writing it down as we're going. All right, you have to say it with us. Be a step ahead. Go. Okay, so first of all, I knew parallel, right? So what I want to do is to me, I'm agreeing with you that I think it's sometimes hard to see, so I'm going to highlight it this way. Well, maybe this is good enough. So this right here, come on, I need everybody quiet so we can talk. All right, here's this, and then here is this. All right, now what you're supposed to see is you're supposed to see the corresponding angle. Right, so it's very difficult sometimes if you don't see the two parallel lines cut by a transversal. You see what I'm saying, right? So sometimes on the test, what I used to do is I used to just extend the lines until I could see it, especially the ones that are parallel. And then I would find the transversal, and then I could see if they're corresponding or they alternate interior, anything that is in that relationship. All right. So again, that's an excellent way to do that. Yes.
So, what DW, what is in parallel to X3 because of CPC?
No, we can't say that. How do you prove things are parallel? You would have to say that the corresponding angles. So I think that's a good proof, actually, right? So how do I prove now? Let's do that because I appreciate that question. All right, how do I know? Someone's got to tell me how I know for sure that that now is parallel to that. And let me move it so it's good. All right, so come on, someone's thinking now. All right, because I may decide to put that on the test because I think that's a great question. How do I know that that's parallel? Someone tell me, how do I know those lines are parallel now? Come on, come on. It's not funny time. It's trying to be smarter time. All right, what? No, no. In order to prove in order to prove lines are parallel, you must find corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, consecutive interior angles. That's what you're looking for. Come on, everybody's smart enough to figure this out. Come on now. Somebody look for those things that I just mentioned in the triangle. Go, Drew. But they're not part of the transversal. Sam. What? You are brilliant. Look what he said, guys. I like that a lot. Thank you, Sam. This part right here, look, guys, this angle here is now congruent to this angle by Harris what? These little
CPCTC.
Yes, there you go. It's those two angles are congruent by CPCTC, right? Now, those happen to be the what? Those are corresponding angles. Because the corresponding angles are congruent, now those segments are what? Parallel. That's great work. All right. I think everybody should put a star by that. If I can remember, I'm going to go change that proof. All right. To that. That's a really good observation. Very good job. All right. So here we go. Let's tackle number 2 now. Let's tackle number 2. All right, everyone is going to go ahead and grab the given because that's what we do. And there's your one and only point. All right, here we go. Number 1, given. Okay, so now, all right, let's get one of my homeschool peeps. All right, Jude, what do we know?
WX is congruent to XZ and VX is congruent to XY.
You are awesome. WX is congruent to XZ. And then I'm just going to go ahead and underneath that put VX is congruent to XY because it's what, Jude?
Definition of midpoint.
Yep, definition of midpoint. All right, you can write it on 2 lines if you want. So now, again, I think it's important to mark 1 tick mark, and now this has to be 2 tick marks. All right, so let me get another one of my homeschool peeps. Let's go, Lorenzo. What do we got?
Is VW parallel to ZY?
Now, it's probably parallel, and I could add that to the next test too. All right, but we don't want to say that it's parallel because remember, we're trying to prove parts of a triangle are congruent. So we want to try to prove the triangle's congruent. Zayden, help him out. What are you going to say?
VW is congruent to ZY, and that's because of the vertical angle theorem.
Nope, we don't. Oh, but you said a side, but then you said angle. So what is the vertical angle that you're referring to? You're correct, but you didn't say it properly. What is the vertical angle?
VWX is congruent to XZY.
Look what you just said. You said VWX. That would be referring to this angle right there. So you got it backwards. I know what you meant. Make sure you're hearing me. Angle VXW is congruent to angle YXZ. You see that? And that's the vertical angle theorem. Vertical angle theorem. All right, Charlie, tell me. Triangle WVX is congruent to triangle YZX. Yes. Number 4, side, angle, side. And again, I forgot to mark this up here. So that would be 3 tick marks, 3 tick marks. All right. Now, here we go. Last and final. Read, tell me.
Okay, you got angle V is congruent to angle Y is CPCTC.
Yes, we got it. Angle Y, step 5, CPCTC. Beautiful. All right, so now, is YZ parallel to VW? Tell me. Go. Let's look and see if he did it right. I just assumed he was correct, but he's probably wrong. So let's see. W corresponds to what, Charlie? Aren't you the one who told me this?
Oh my goodness.
W corresponds to what? Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a whole lot. You're just throwing letters anywhere you want, huh? All right, so what corresponds? Let's check them again. Thank you. You get the, because you corrected Charlie, you get a little, what do you want, a lemon drop? All right. That's for participation and correcting Charlie. All right, so what do we got? W corresponds to what? I'm asking Charlie. And then V corresponds to what? And then X corresponds to, thank you. All right, that is it. All right, now who's going to give me the inspiring reason why they are parallel? Oh, Ruffin, this ought to be interesting. Go. So wait, what? No. You're trying to say, they were asking me earlier if we know that this is parallel to this. Do we know?
No.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we got it right here. Shh. Yes, you're right. Yay, W and Z are congruent. Those are alternate interior angles. You could have also said V is congruent to Y. Those are alternate interior angles. So the lines would be parallel. All right, again, that's good. All right, that's good. All right, let's knock out number 3 real quick. All right, so for question number 3, all right, get your point, everybody.
Right now I have a 3%.
I wouldn't go that far. All right, here we go. Number 1. Let's knock out the given. Okay, so the only thing I can mark is SP congruent to TP. So SP is congruent to, all right, now let me see someone else today. William, tell me.
So PP is congruent.
All right, wow, you went right for the hard one, good. PQ is congruent to PQ. Why is that? Yeah, it's the reflexive.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so Hannah, you're up. Say it again. Uh-oh, tell me why. Now, listen to me. This is good, okay? So I want you to really take this. First, let me write this. All right, so now I need you to think about this for a quick second. It's easy. All right, so watch. What does PQ bisect? It bisects a what? I want to hear it say it. It bisects a what? No one's asking you. It bisects what? It bisects an angle. So listen, if a segment bisects an angle, you have to tell me what 2 angles are congruent. All right, so quiet, I want to hear it. So what I want you to do is we automatically identify SPT, and that's being bisected by PQ. So what angles are congruent? Is congruent to, that's how simple. That's how simple. So here we go, that's good. So now we're gonna go step 3. That angle SPQ is congruent to angle TPQ. And why is that again? Yes, definition of bisect. That's why I'm saying, guys, if you're not saying it incorrectly, you're making a mistake. All right? You should be writing it down, making a mistake, and then correcting your mistakes. And then you'll see the relationships much better. If all you're doing is writing down the information, you are going to walk out of here Wednesday crying. All right? You have to do it. All right? It's possible to get a 0 on the test. Well, or be like Morty and get 3% because he got all the givens correct. All right, so now I need to mark that. So here we go, I'm marking it. All right, Karina, tell me. What is side angle side? What about SPQ? That's called a what? That's called a what? SPQ?
Triangle SPQ.
Uh-oh, I got to make sure you're right. SPQ, say it again, to triangle TPQ. And now tell me, side angle side, brilliant. All right, final one. Watson, thank you. Wow, you even said it quicker than Harris. That's pretty impressive. All right, CPCTC, very, very good. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. All right. Anybody want to try to add an extra proof in for this one? Oh, this ought to be good. Shh. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. There we go. All right, here we go. The fun continues. Number 4. Okay, here we go. Number 4. Finally, something might be a little bit more challenging. Let's see. All right, Morty, let's get our 1 point in the proof. All right, here we go. Now, for whatever reason, I forgot to wipe these out. All right, so number one. All right, so now we have to mark. Uh-oh. Oh, we have to be careful now, guys. All right, so here, listen. AK, here we go, is congruent to CJ. All right, now, again, these are hard because they're what? They're overlapping. Is everybody with me on this? Look, put your hand down, just watch me. They're overlapping. It's too confusing. All right, it's way too confusing. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to teach you to do this, please. All right, this should be kind of obvious, but some of my kids in the past have not thought this was obvious. So I think I'm looking at this triangle right here. And that's the beauty of the iPad, A, B, K. And now what I'm doing is I'm sliding that right over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the other triangle because it's overlapping. And then J, B, C. And now I just grab it and pull it over. All right. Now, again, I just think once you learn to do that, then the problem's much easier. All right. It's much easier because now we can mark AK congruent to CJ. Did everybody see that? Anybody have any issues with that? All right. Now we're going to mark angle BJK. So let's find that. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, but look, I was almost confused here. BJK is the same as BJ what? Yes, right? So I was looking for that going, oh my goodness, maybe I'm not doing it right. But again, that's what I'm trying to show you now. You got to see that. All right. BJK is the same as BJ what? Right. So now I can say this angle right here is congruent to BKJ, which is this angle right here. Is everybody good with that? Yeah. This angle right here, they're calling it BKJ, but when I separated them, I only get BKA, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, everybody good with that? So now, the last part is angle A is congruent to angle C. Now, I think my point here was trying to show you that what? Yeah, that all of this given has already proved the triangles are congruent. But the point was, because they're overlapping, it was hard to see. Did everybody see that? Right, so step 2, we can just write in the solution. Copy, paste, and then we can just say here it's what? Angle side angle, and be on our merry way. All right. Yeah, so again, overlapping situation. All right, overlapping. All right, that's just a good review. All right. Now, that kind of looks like the same thing. All right. So let's see what's going on with this. I am trying to prove NMK is congruent to LKM, which again, they're just what? Uh-oh. They're just overlapping triangles. Does everybody agree? I got it. Yeah. All right. gonna do like maybe 3 problems, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and then we're just gonna knock it out on Monday and Tuesday. All right, here we go. Let's take a look now at 5. All right, please, here we go. So again, we're trying to prove the triangles are congruent. So as soon as we do that, I think the best thing to do is to separate them. Now, some of you guys with good eyes, you're saying, well, I don't need to do that. I'm totally okay with that. I just know they can get very tricky. So my advice is to separate them. All right, and then I like to go ahead and put the letters in. So M, L, K, and here we go. Drop this down here, and then we'll do the other one. And then we'll go with K and M. And then I think once you learn to separate, it's very easy. All right, so let's go with the given here. All right, so step number 1. Let's knock it out, given. Now let's mark NKM. NKM is congruent to LMK. And then angle L is congruent to angle N. All righty, someone be brilliant. I said someone be brilliant. You raising your hand? Third angle theorem. Yes, that's a possibility. That's definitely a possibility, but I don't think we need it because we can just say what? Yeah, Km is congruent to Km. All right. Now, the third angle theorem, listen to me. I'm going to go ahead and show him that he is correct. I know how sensitive he is, all right, when he's told he's wrong. All right, so Km is congruent to Km. And so then that obviously is what? Reflexive. All right, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we can just say the triangles are congruent by what? Angle, angle, side, right? Angle, angle, side. So 3, angle, angle, side. All right, okay, okay. I don't want to hear it. All right, so there we go. Now, what he's saying is true. So look, guys, he could say this angle definitely is congruent to this angle by the third angle theorem. And now you can just virtually say what? Angle, side, angle also, right, to prove it's true. All right, so that's why I'm saying when you do these proofs on your test, I try to be as quick as you can to prove it. But if you do it some way, I just have to be able to follow your logic. If I can't follow your logic, I can't give you the credit. All right, is everybody okay with that? Yes, ma'am. No, no, no. We wouldn't know that they're you can't prove a triangle congruent by saying all the angles are congruent. You know this? And let me show you why, because some people didn't understand me. So watch. That's why, again, I like the iPad as an explanation. So when I copy and paste, you should be able to look at that and say the triangles are what? Exactly the same, right? Now, sometimes it's better to paste the image. So those are exactly the same, correct? Now watch. When you enlarge it, do the angles change? No, the angles don't change. So are they congruent anymore? Are the triangles congruent?
No.
Triangles are definitely not congruent. Just because they have the same angle measures doesn't make them congruent. Does that make sense now, right? So you cannot prove something by angle, angle, angle. All right, you cannot prove it by angle, angle, angle. Yes.
I don't really understand how you can differentiate angle.
Okay, so let's look back. All right, so I'm going to eliminate the third angle theorem, which was it K? Oh. So it's this piece right here. And K is congruent to here. So here's how you know. All right, and I think that's important. Angle 2 to angle 1 to the side. Because if I start here, I'm going angle, side, I skip an angle and skip a side. I can't do that. You've got to go in clockwise or counterclockwise. You with me? Can't skip an angle and a side. You with me? So that's why if I started in, I can just go angle, angle, side. You good now? All right, that's good. All right, so let's just do this. Let me check the next two out. So let's try for homework 6 and let's try 7. All right, and that'll give us a great start. And then on Monday, we'll just continue on reviewing lots of good things. Okay, hopefully you felt pretty good about it today. Hopefully you're doing, you feel like it's not too difficult. All right, so listen, you got like, what, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, right? So that might be time to finish, so you don't have anything to worry about over the weekend. All right, my homeschool peeps, you guys have a great weekend, okay? Take care, guys. Hopefully all that made sense.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome,
Bye.
guys. Have a great day.
Bye, Mr. Stroh.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Be safe.